Why, God? Why? Why? Hey everybody, and welcome to Twin Talk. I'm your host, Chris Hart. Before we begin today, be sure to check out our channel where me and my twin brother Kevin drink and draw. We'll talk about comic books, movies, all things pop culture. We do episode by episode reactions, trailer reactions, spoiler-filled movie reviews, all while doing time-lapse drawings of different characters, whoever we're covering that week. If you're into sci-fi, fantasy, comic books, cartoons, anything, check out our channel. We got you covered. And if you like what you see, be sure to subscribe to the channel. The year was 2013, and we were just coming off of an epic trilogy of The Dark Knight, starring Christian Bale and directed by Christopher Nolan. DC decided to go the Marvel method and give us an interconnected shared universe, the DCEU. Zack Snyder did a great job with a beginning chapter for the DCEU. If you're going to start the DC franchise in a blockbuster cinematic universe, Superman's the way to go. He's the granddaddy of them all, the first superhero there ever was. Put respect on my man's name. And based on concept art and initial casting rumors, I was personally super excited to see the next installment, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. We knew what was coming. They were trying to Avengers this thing. The end game was eventually the Justice League, which I have been waiting for since I was a kid. I've had this movie playing in my head since I was a freaking child, and I could not wait to see the Justice League, the Super Friends, on the big screen. And hearing that they were going in the direction of an older seasoned veteran Batman who was more like 1986's Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, I was so hyped on that. That's one of the greatest comic books of all time. And coming off the Dark Knight trilogy, I was ready to see a new take on the Batman because he's such a versatile character. They could have done anything with him, but I always wanted to see a Batman that does his own thing in Gotham, but also works with the Justice League in his free time to save the planet. Batman's mission has always been Gotham, but if there's no planet, there's no Gotham. Justice League. Having an older Batman allows you to do a lot of comic book history with his other villains and his comic book lore, while also having the grand epics of his team-ups with the Justice League. The initial casting rumors of Josh Brolin and Ben Affleck had me very excited for this seasoned veteran Batman role. I thought Josh Brolin would have been perfect for a Frank Miller Dark Knight, but in August 2013 we were blessed with BATFLECK, the greatest Batman that never was. Much like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, this is the best iteration of the character we get in the weakest of the franchises. As fate would have it though, Marvel swooped in and scooped up Josh Brolin to play the purple Mad Titan himself, Thanos, and we all know the rest is history. He also did a great job of portraying Cable, one of my favorite X-Men characters. Being a fan of Zack Snyder's Watchmen and Man of Steel, I was ready for this movie, Batman vs. Superman. It was all leading up to a Justice League film. My body was ready. Stars were aligning for DC to get ready to have a heavyweight battle with Marvel for the best superhero franchise at the box office. Enter March 23rd, 2016, a day that will live in infamy, one of the best and worst days of my life. I bought my tickets months in advance. I was so excited for this movie that I wanted to see it twice opening night, and instead what I got was a 3-hour snooze fest with little action and convoluted scripts, with apparently half an hour of the movie still left dying on the cutting room floor. I was very disappointed in Chris Terrio and David Goyer for writing this script, considering that David Goyer had a lot of success in comic books with the JSA and the JLA, also the Dark Knight trilogy. There was no excuse for this script to be this messy. And Chris Terrio, Hollywood just keeps giving him the keys to ruin franchises. He's ruined the DC universe, Star Wars universe. How many franchises does he have to kill before we wake up? Stop handing him the keys to the kingdom and fire his ass. Put his ass on the unemployment line like the rest of us. Working for $12 an hour, he'll wake up. But that being said, BVS still offered gorgeous visuals and an amazing portrayal of Bruce Wayne Batman by Ben Affleck. Due to mixed reactions and an underwhelming box office, BVS would then lead DC and Warner Brothers to call an audible, and that would end up in one of the worst superhero movies ever made in Justice League. What a joke. I won't even begin to get into the troubles with that movie. That's a video for another lifetime. Too many nights were spent in a parking lot with my boy Noel and my brother Kevin venting and crying about this. So I digress. Justice League should have been a billion-dollar movie in its sleep. In a DC fandom of 2020, we got some news that DC was finally going to release the Snyder Cut. After a couple of years and fans pushing for this, we ended up getting Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max. And even though it was a triumph for fans and the director himself, the movie was still a little bit long and too desaturated. Not the Justice League movie that I pictured in my head as a kid. Bright characters, godlike beings, crushing the Legion of Doom. And then there's The Batman, which was initially rumored to be written and directed by Ben Affleck himself, which eventually was taken off the slate completely. And based on the trailers and looks that I've seen at DC's fandom, I ain't hating on that. Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson seem to be crushing it in this new film, and I personally cannot wait to see it on March 4th when it hits the theaters. And with the current state of the DCEU in flux as always, I heard that Ben Affleck turned down a role for Batman once again in the HBO Max series. And now there's news that Ben Affleck has filmed his final role as Batman in the new Flash movie. Too much studio interference with lackluster scripts, convoluted plots, and lack of vision has led to the waste of Ben Affleck as Batman. Now, I haven't seen The Flash yet, and that movie's been going through development hell for years. But based on what I saw from DC fandom and what I'm hearing, I'm pretty excited about it. Michael Keaton coming back is very exciting, setting up a future for the DCEU is very exciting, and a swan song for Ben Affleck also excites me. He deserves it, and I hope it's everything I wish and more. But enough negativity for me. Let's focus on the highlights of Ben Affleck's career as Batman. The warehouse scene will go down as the greatest Batman moment of all time. The warehouse scene gave us the brutality and choreographed action that only Frank Miller's Dark Knight comic book offered at the time, and then we saw it personified in live action. The scenes we see in the trailer of Batman stopping the punch from a depowered Superman and eventually asking him, "Do you bleed?" is the definition of badass. And though a lot of people hate it, I personally love the Martha scene for the breakdown of Bruce Wayne's psychosis of him as Batman and his mission. A metaphorical chance to save his mother, which he couldn't do as a young boy. A final redemption to save the mother that he never could. Now all I can do is wait to see Ben Affleck's final portrayal of Batman in The Flash, and pray to God that it's as good of an ending as I can ask for the character. Now there's many things I don't know, but what I do know is that The Batman is coming out in theaters March 4th, and just like the Spider-Man No Way Home release, we're going to be reviewing every Batman movie leading up to the Batman. Me and Kevin will be dissecting each movie, giving our nostalgic thoughts on it, as well as drawing a character from each movie. So be sure to check that out and enter our giveaway when we give you more details. With all that down, thank you for checking out this episode of Twin Talk, and if you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe. What do you guys think? Are you excited for a fresh start with The Batman, with Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson? Or are you sad that DC and Warner Brothers wasted the career of Ben Affleck and you wanted to see more of him? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time. Peace!